Okay, welcome. It's January 26, 2020, and I'm Joe Weston, and we're here for our weekly online global practice for reviving the global heart. And as I've said to some people already, I'm currently sitting in the Netherlands, where I'll be attending a retreat starting this weekend. And so the background's a little different. The sun's going down. I'm happy to be here. It's one of my homes. I've lived here for a long time. And it's a pleasure to be with you all. And as always, as we gather every week in community, in a place where we feel safe and open, where we feel seen, we feel appreciated, for people who want to hold a vision in a world that can be quite cynical and where there's a lot of hopelessness and apathy, that we are courageous enough to believe that, one of the chapters in this book I'm writing, Fierce Civility, Reviving the Global Heart, is finding hope in the messiness. And so here we are. We can celebrate and not have to hide our optimism and hope, or at least we try. And if we're struggling with that, the beauty of this gathering is that we can come together and remember we're not alone. I'm going to ask if you could all mute your, for now. Afterwards, when we're finished with the practice, you'll get a chance to unmute and we can share. So I wanted to just share, just so many of you, like I said, we've been in the middle of this process called the 8 Remedies for Reviving the Global Heart. And I've mentioned, we've gone through 4 of them already. I'm going to be, since I'll be going on this retreat, this will be the last session I'll do for a while, for about 4 or 5 sessions. And I've been having great talks with my team, my senior teachers, and people part of this.
Kom nou maar hier.
And for all of us to continue this process and keep this momentum going. That's a real hope of mine, and I'll be thinking of you while I'm in retreat. My heart will be radiating out to all of you, and hoping that you'll stay in community and continue supporting one another and share ideas. We've got some really great people lined up, as well as each of you supporting in what your vision is and what's coming from your heart. But I wanted to just share today, so I'll leave the rest. We've gone through 4 ailments, and I want to save the other 4 for when I come back, so we can keep that in a process. If you are interested in the 8 ailments and you were able to attend some of them, we now have them. I don't know, Todd, if you can put up a link. We now have them on YouTube, I think, so that you can watch the recordings. It's nice, and it's just nice to remind yourself of what the practice is, what the remedy is, and to keep practicing on your own. And as I always say, just like with any medicine, you can't just take it once and hope it's going to cure you. It's something you have to take on a regular basis. And by practicing and contemplating the deeper aspects of each remedy to an ailment, you will begin to feel within yourself some shifts happening in your own viewpoints, habits, patterns, and tendencies. And that is the key to this idea of reviving the global heart, that it starts with us. A fundamental belief that what needs to shift in the world, of course it's happening, and it's been happening for centuries, but we have to make it more mainstream, an idea of, for cultural transformation to happen, it starts with personal transformation. That too much of our focus, and that's what we're seeing in the polarities, is so much focus is outward. That needs to change. They need to change. They're the problem. If only they were like this. And it's okay to have those viewpoints, but that can't be the whole story. And that's really how we break the polarizations, is that anytime we have a viewpoint, we never settle in, this is the way it is. We go from either this or that, or either us or them, to an and. That's how we break the polarity. I can have my viewpoint, and there must be other viewpoints that for them are valid. And it's when I dare to listen that I can start learning more and maybe modify my viewpoints. Not that I have to change them, not that I have to give up anything, but to accept the idea that possibly to consider, I'm human and I can only know so much. I may know a lot, you might think, and there's only so much I can know. Therefore, the most effective way for me to know more and learn and develop is to start connecting with people who have different viewpoints, to challenge my viewpoints, so I can enhance them and strengthen them and be more clear in how I communicate them, and at the same time learn something new. And as I say often, that another issue that needs to shift in what's happening. So personal transformation leads to cultural transformation. And this premise that we're all locked in this tribalism of this idea that we don't seek information, we seek affirmation that the information we have is right. And that we have to shift that, I would say. And that I always say, if only hanging out with people who already agree with you were going to solve our world problems, we would have already solved our world problems, because we do it all the time. And that's not solving the world problems. So let's try something new. Let's engage with people with different worldviews and see what we can learn in that, and see if we can be in that messy place of hearing each other's truths. And in that messy, what I mean messy, that we're triggered, and that it's in that messy trigger that the alchemy happens, where the new solutions emerge. It's the only way new solutions are going to emerge. And the process of fierce civility is this idea of, we have to get over this thing that I have to make sure whatever I do or say, I don't trigger the other person. Where in contrast, fierce civility is, yes, we must trigger each other. Because when we are triggered, we're in that dance, we're in that messy, we're in a creative process. If we're locked into the gridlock of our own views, or if we're numbed out, or if we're that there's no good, that's happening already. That aggressive thing of like, I have to fight to make sure you know I'm right. Or that passivity. So aggression or passivity of simply like, why bother? And I already know I'm right, so why bother getting engaged? So imagine that we feel confident and skilled to actually go out of our ways to be triggered and to trigger others, regulating our nervous system enough so it doesn't turn into aggression. And it doesn't lead to fight, flight, freeze responses, simply leads to that wonderful creative process. Remember, I have to say, for me and anybody in my generation, remember way back when, those first few times when you had a crush on someone? That's being triggered. That's a really uncomfortable process, the butterflies in your stomach. Imagine bringing that to a difficult conversation, that same fluttered feeling like, we're about to explore something new, we're about to grow and be challenged, we're about to imagine new solutions that don't exist yet. How exciting for ourselves, for others, and for the planet. So that's part of what this work is, and what we're here to do is to support each other in that, to know that we can create safe space, and remember we're not alone. And that to remind you in the few weeks that I'm not here, remember that we're here cultivating self-care and fierce compassion. And I've said this before, in a world where the world system has done such a good job of keeping us depleted and confused and hopeless and burnt out and distracted. Did I say worn out and tired too? Oh, and I didn't say worn out and tired, did I? That, and at the same time has found clever ways to keep us separate. What if the most revolutionary act you could do today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow is to build your resilience, cultivate more fortitude and self-nourishment, advocate for yourself, self-care, and find new ways to connect and deepen relationship, even through the World Wide Web? What if that was the most revolutionary act any one of us could do right now? Personal transformation leads to cultural transformation. And for me, this has and what we're practicing from the fierce civility part is realizing that a lot of what's causing the causes of a lot of our polarization and struggles is these mental constructs we have. We're in our heads. And how we are now in modern times, in the 21st century, modern science, where science is valuable and where facts are valuable, we also are maybe a little too focused in trying to solve our problems with mental constructs in complicated ways that aren't seeming to cause the shifts that we're hoping for, and may even be complicating the problems more. And because of the mental constructs, are causing more distance, isolation, and polarization. So what if this practice we're doing is that we've got to get out of our heads and into our hearts? And for me, everything I've talked about to this point, the idea of the joy and the flinders, the butterflies in your stomach, of actually triggering one another in an appropriate, respectful way, hoping that new solutions emerge, in the self-care piece, in the open-hearted approach. What if that is the new spiritual? What if spiritual simply is a deeper level of global civic engagement? That in a sense, what we're practicing is we've got the head part down. What can we do to not just be in our hearts when we're in community like this, or when we're home reading a book or with our puppies or whatever, but all the time, that we're resilient enough that our hearts can be open to a point where we can move through the world, even in challenging moments. And I've been saying this for decades, but certainly with all the work I do with respectful confrontation, the power of open-heartedness. It's in your vulnerability that your true power is revealed. And that's oftentimes, so the idea is, what is our practice to actually practice being in the world with an open heart, with compassion, wisdom, respect, dignity, understanding, love, resourcefulness, connection. And then I'm not advocating that, because again, we have to break the polarity of oftentimes people then say, but Joe, you're asking me to be in my heart all the time. I would go insane. And I would say, yes, if it's like just totally open or totally closed, then yes. If you were to walk with your heart totally open through the world, which many of you do and wonder why you're tired, if you're going to walk through the world with your heart totally open, then yes, within 4 minutes, you would be like zapped out. But that's like, as many of you know, I say, that's like having an on-off switch on your heart. It's going to be either on or off. And if that's the case, where you have two options, polarization, then of course you're going to choose for your heart being closed, unfortunately. Because that's the safest, most healthy choice to make. What's unfortunate is that your heart is closed. So even the most loving, compassionate people are not opening their hearts in a way that has power. So what I always say is, let's get rid of the on-off switch and upgrade to a dimmer switch, where we can move through our world in choice in any moment, that we have trained ourselves to have a good sense of situational awareness. We're regulated, we're grounded, we're focused, we're in our power, we're flexible, we're strong, all of those elements, and that we can determine at any moment how safe we feel physically and emotionally and psychologically. And based on how safe we feel, we can then determines how open our heart is. That if I'm walking into a space and it's very comfortable, even if it's, and I can say, okay, I assess and I'm feeling about 85% safe. Well, that means I have the capacity to open my heart 85% out of 100. That ain't bad. If I'm not feeling so safe, if it's like, if I'm in that triggered conversation for the purpose of coming up with new solutions, I want to take care of myself first. My heart's only open 10%. No, I feel 10% safe. Then I open my heart 10%. So 10% of your heart being open is a lot better than 0%. And what I always say, even if your heart is open 1% out of 100, that's still 1% more possibility for healing, reconciliation, and new solutions than if your heart was closed and it was 0. So it's about being resourceful. It's about being smart, using your intellect to be in relationship with your heart. So I want to read I feel compelled, just one little section in my book, that in the manuscript, in the first draft of this book, if you don't mind. May I read? May just be short. Thanks. And it's about this very question. What if being spiritual simply meant first getting out of your head and into your heart, and then uniting the two, head and heart, to bring a more integrated approach to our current challenges and how we interact with both fierceness and civility, facts and common sense, compassionate wisdom? What if being spiritual simply meant that all your thoughts, words, and actions were in alignment with your highest values? What if being spiritual meant treating others the way you would like to be treated? What if being spiritual meant that when you cause harm, that you clean up your mess and make amends? What if being spiritual meant that you humbly recognize that you couldn't possibly know everything and you remain curious and open to new ideas, challenging yourself in a healthy way, your current view of yourself, others, and the world? What if being spiritual meant when you know you have enough resources, access to power, and knowledge that you devote your time and energy to taking care of others in need and create new systems that make it easier for those in need to obtain resources, power, and knowledge? What if being spiritual simply meant a deeper commitment to civil, civic, global engagement? So let's take a breath. My energy is different at the end of the day than it is in the morning, huh? So I want to lead us, take this into our practice. That's our motivation. And I'd love to hear afterwards any reflections you have on this. Hopefully have enough time that you can also share. So let's do our practice as we always do, sitting in a way where we allow for the most presence, awareness, balance, and flow. Thank you, Tammy, for helping remember to bring that in. That is the practice. When we are in presence, awareness, balance, and flow, then we are in the practice of self-care and cultivating resilience. We are in the practice of uniting head and heart. We are in the practice of engaging with others in a way where we can be in that dance of the challenges so new solutions can emerge. So sitting in a way where your spine is straight without being rigid. Tucking in your chin so you will also elongate from the back of your neck, letting the energy move through the whole spine, up through your neck and your skull. Remember, there's no right way to do this or wrong way to do this. It's about finding your way. Bringing awareness, relaxing your shoulders, your jaw, your belly. Hands resting on your knees or thighs without clenching, feet flat on the floor. Bringing your full attention to your center in your lower belly, approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel, a third of the way into the body. If you're new to this, just to imagine where your center is. If you put your fingers together and you place your index finger over your navel, where your pinky resides, that's approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel. From there, bring your attention now inside of your body, from the front of the body about a third of the way. Bringing your full attention to that spot. I'd like for those of you who have been doing this on a regular basis, maybe some of you even for 2 years now, to begin to start seeing how much this is becoming a new habit and what your relationship is with your core now than it was a year ago or even a month ago. No obligation, just curious, just be curious. From your center, your place of personal power, impulse, awareness, become aware of your contact points, the parts of your body that are connecting with what you're sitting on the floor. It's like your anchor. It's how you anchor into the present moment and into the earth. Cultivating within yourself, even in your nervous system, a sense of being held. No need to hold everything up yourself. There's always something or someone to hold you if you allow it. From your center, become aware of your physical body. No need to do anything. Simply all we're doing is cultivating a deeper level of listening, situational awareness, with curiosity, free of judgment. Simply assess how is your body communicating with you? Place of where your wisdom resides, common sense wisdom. Learn its language, trust its information. That's wisdom. From your center, become aware of your emotions. Without judgment, allowing all feelings that want to come up to flow, all emotions, all feelings are welcome. From your center, become aware of your thoughts. What are the quality of your thoughts at this moment? How much attention are your thoughts getting at this moment as opposed to your awareness of your physical body or your emotions? And imagine having equal access. Your awareness is equally giving attention to your physical self, your emotional self, and your mental self. Remaining with your connection with your center, personal power, gut wisdom. Now bringing awareness to your heart or the middle of your chest, where your heart wisdom resides, your heart power. Actually bringing into complete alignment, more of a sense of balance, your body, your gut wisdom in your core, your heart, as well as your thoughts. All working together as opposed to vying for attention. With that more layered awareness of yourself from your center, your heart, become aware of the part of you that connects with something larger than yourself, your highest values, something spiritual, humanity. And from that part of you, from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of what your connection is in this moment with something larger than yourself. What if you gave yourself permission in a way you never have before to open to something larger than yourself in a new way? Just the invitation, allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. With more of awareness of yourself and the different layers of yourself, trying to maintain that as we move through, as you engage with other things and other people from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. From your center and from your heart, with more of awareness of yourself, becoming aware of your surroundings, keeping your eyes closed. What is your relationship at this moment with your surroundings? Can you open your heart to your surroundings and take it in? with more of an awareness of yourself and your surroundings in this moment. From your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. With more of an awareness of yourself and your surroundings in this present moment, from your center and from your heart, become aware of those in this meditation circle at this moment, this community. With honor and respect, connecting from your core and from your heart. Noticing that the impact of that. Just imagine approaching each person from various parts of Europe, various parts of North America, perhaps elsewhere. With that sense of unity of head and heart, resilience and compassion. Facts and compassion. With more of an awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. From your center and from your heart, with more of awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of all human beings, beginning with those human beings that you would label loved ones. And notice who arises in your heart. What faces do you see? Groups of people. Just imagine feeling strong within yourself, grounded within yourself, with your heart open. And that fluttery feeling in your stomach of what would it be like to, in a very respectful way, triggering them in some way for the purpose of new possibilities to emerge. What does that do to your nervous system? How does that trigger you or not? Imagine all the possibilities. Maybe see delight on their faces. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those human beings that you would label stranger. And again, from your heart and from your head and from your core, resilient, compassionate. What we like with strangers, to find the appropriate, respectful balance to trigger them and you being triggered for the purpose of new possibilities to emerge, to engage. To acknowledge, validating their existence. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those human beings you would label adversary. And who today arises in your heart? What faces do you see? Groups of people. Standing in your power, feet rooted and grounded and supported by what's under you. Feeling your personal power, the power in your heart, all your knowledge, all your wisdom, standing face to face with these people that you would label adversary. And just imagining the idea of triggering them in a respectful way, just with the appropriate amount for the possibility of healing, reconciliation, new solutions. How do they respond? Just allowing energy to flow, emotions to flow, remembering what you're experiencing right now, the efforts of this practice. And with that awareness of yourself, your surroundings, those in this meditation circle, and all human beings, regardless of how you label them, loved one, stranger, or adversary, take a full breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Trying to maintain this experience, whether you feel expanded, triggered, alive, vital, a little fearful, excited. Take that with you as you now bring all human beings back into your heart. With all human beings back in your heart, bring your awareness back to those in this meditation circle. Imagine us triggering each other in that appropriate way for the purpose of helping each one of us step into our power and our gifts. Maybe seeing delight on the face of those in this community. Taking all of those people in this meditation circle into your heart, bringing all human beings and those in this meditation circle back to your surroundings. Putting yourself again in a context, taking your surroundings into your heart as you bring that all back into your heart, letting that flow into your heart, maybe igniting your heart, flowing into your core, filling up your battery, charging you. Letting the efforts of this practice now just permeate in all of your cells, your organs, taking it into your nervous system as a way of remembering. Bringing awareness back to this idea of integration and alignment with your head, your heart, and your core, and your feet on the ground. Take one final breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Slowly open your eyes. Look around the room and stretch your body. Shake a little bit, let out any tension or stiffness. So we started with the motivation, we did our practice, and now we have time to reflect. Feel free to unmute yourself. And if you have anything you want to share, please do. From the chat I did, the little talk I did, or the practice itself, or anything else that's coming up.
I had an experience I'd like to share. When you were leading us through the part of the meditation where we were asked to engage with whom we label adversaries in a respectful way and triggering them in a respectful way, I found it pretty difficult to keep that neutral. You know, it was really easy for that, even in that space, to feel like engage with them in a way that wasn't neutral. It was just something I observed in that part of the practice.
Good, and that's great, because that's your wisdom talking to you, Patty. That's like saying, okay, there's some work to do there. Not that it's bad, and not that you have to do, not that what you're doing is wrong, but it could be exciting. Like, oh, wow, there's something there. I can stretch my heart muscle more. And I would say maybe consider that you don't need to be neutral, just regulated, so that you don't want to hit them or something or run, right? That in a neutral, yeah, maybe you can be triggered and you can be regulated.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
So I just wanted to tag on to what Patty just said. I had an aha moment during our meditation, and that was my whole landscape of my thinking changed. And when we talk about adversaries and divisiveness and the division, I've been thinking about it in terms of, well, I'm going to hang out here until people come and start thinking the right way. That's not the way to do it. I mean, if I wait for people to come to my way of thinking, I'd be waiting forever. So it's the possibilities that you talked about that kind of lit me up. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Jean. That's beautiful. That's I call those are special moments when you have that clarity. It felt I can feel it in your body that it was that clear for you. Did you feel it too?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, it was like electricity. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe I'd like to share something. Very much looking forward to this session today.
Dominique, I don't think we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was saying that I was very much
Not anymore. Can't hear you again.
to hear you, Joe, and have the
Not, Dominique, we're not hearing you. Dominique? No.
Can you put something in the chat, Dominique? I'm very curious now.
Anybody want to share while she's putting that in the chat?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So make sign if I don't. Okay, so should I start from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna be quick now. I was saying that I was looking forward to this session because I needed to hear you, Joe, and have the energy of everybody. Yesterday, I got a text from a friend, an old friend that has not been in touch for a while. And she said, we used to be very close friends. And she said, "Hi, Dominique, how are you? Can we talk this week?" So I was happy to receive a text from her. So I said, "Sure, yes, hi, I'm doing well. Call me at your convenience." And she answered to me, "Is there something wrong?" I said, "No, why?" And she said, "Well, that's how I talk to a distant professional relationship."
Mm.
So I said, "Oh, sorry, for me, I like to use this at your convenience." So I said, "I'm sorry, call me at anytime you want, I'm at home." And then I said, "Don't be so sensitive, my friend." And then she answered, "I wouldn't be in a relationship with you if I was." So I said, "Oh," so that really hurt me. So, I know I will call her today, and I want to approach this discussion with my heart, with my open heart, go to somewhere I've never been with her, and, be vulnerable. And not just not just start with, "Oh, this is not what I meant," because if she received it this way, it's because her perception is valid. So I'm gonna start with that. The intention wasn't that, and try to start from a new place, I guess. And the meditation really helped me thinking about this all the time. I was always thinking about it. And when I speak with her today, I will remember your energy, the energy of this group, which I value very much.
Yes.
Thank
Take us with you. Yeah, definitely be in your
Thank
heart.
you.
Thank you for sharing. Thanks for your vulnerability to share that. Can I give you a tip or two?
Yes, please.
Okay. The most effective, loving thing you can do is simply listen and let her have her truth. It doesn't mean she's right, but let her have her truth, and you'll get information you didn't know and work from there.
Okay.
And I would also say for you to consider because if I heard you say, you said, don't be so sensitive. Let her be sensitive if that's the way she needs to be, as long as you're not getting harmed. It's simply her way of being. And I'm not saying you have to do that, but to just consider, let her be her so that you can be you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good luck. Let us know
Thanks.
how it goes.
Yes, thanks.
One more.
I felt in a different way today, the equanimity that you called in between the three energy systems and even between our gut and our heart, as an internal practice of equanimity and respecting all the different voices or intelligences to be able to allow us to equanimify out here and to be in the reception of the different viewpoints, so that the culmination that we do in the interior allows us to have the patience and the curiosity on the exterior to receive.
Thank you, Shelley. I want to add here that we spent a lot of time here cultivating the heart, because I feel like we got the head stuff down. And if you feel like you want to integrate more of body wisdom, then I would recommend there's a course starting that we're doing at the Weston Network that starts next week. Yes, next week. That
Tuesday.
Shelley is going to be leading, the person who just spoke, and Tori, who will be leading some of the meditations while I'm away, when Tori's here. It's a 4-week course, 90-minute sessions that start, I think it's every Tuesday for the next 4 weeks, on the 4 pillars of resilient power, which is a system that I developed about learning more wisdom in the body and integrating head, heart, and body. So if you want to take advantage of that, it's not that expensive, and they're amazing facilitators. You get a chance to experience that. So Todd's, can you put that in? Oh, he already did. He put that in the link. Great for equanimifying. Yeah. Nothing else. You're going to increase with Shelley, you increase your vocabulary. She makes up words on the spot that are very multisyllabic. It's mind blowing. Anyway, any last short word or two anybody want to say before we close?
I would just like to, I'm going to be at the 4 pillars, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay.
With my husband. And but also that today I've always used with my own work, head and heart is the voice of reason.
Mhm.
And I love bringing in this power place, which I'm not familiar with in this way, to bring that on board with my voice of reason, head, heart, and my core.
Yeah.
And found my foundation there. So I appreciated that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tia.
Thanks, Tia.
Yeah. If you want to make a donation, we always ask a contribution from your heart for this practice. You can, the link is there. All the money goes towards the Fierce Civility Project, which is exactly about getting this kind of work out in the world. Feel free. And like I always say, tell people about this practice and this community. Have them come and try it out. It's great to see new faces. And I just want to again say thank you. I'm going to bring you all in my heart during my retreat for 4 weeks. Thank you for holding space. Thank you for caring for each other in advance by 4 bats. And I'm going to miss you all. And I have full trust in the team that's going to be holding space with this. Some amazing people are going to be coming in. So I'm looking forward to hearing how that all goes. So be well, take care of yourselves, resilience, self-care. Have a good week.
Have
Few
a
weeks.
great retreat.
Thank you.
See everyone next week.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for the gift of Flinders.